Zeekr is about to make the biggest move in Australia yet, and it all starts with the 7X SUV that I just did some videos on a few days ago. But it isn't just a single car launch, it's the start of a model Blitz that really includes the Zeekr 8X, the Zeekr 9X, which is very luxurious, and even a rebadged Lynk & Co plug-in hybrid. So let's jump into it. Hello folks, my name is Ben Alexander, so thank you very much for tuning in. Lots of new subscribers this last week or two, so I really appreciate that. So these are also the channel members, so these are the people that support the channel. Thank you very much to all of these people, really appreciate that. So a lot of you will know Zeekr as Geely's premium brand. They're the same family that owns Volvo, for example, but I definitely sort of feel when you look at a Volvo versus a Zeekr, you can tell the extra quality is in a Zeekr rather than in the Volvos. The Volvos have a sort of a little bit less quality about them, I think. They own Polestar, they own Lynk & Co, but here in Australia, Zeekr has decided to do things a bit differently, unlike Polestar, which is EV only. So Zeekr will sell both pure electric vehicles and also hybrid vehicles, but no straight petrols or diesels or anything like that. And that's actually quite smart, I think, when you think about the charging infrastructure, especially outside of big cities here in Australia. So let's talk about what is coming. First up, the Zeekr 7X SUV. Obviously, I think that is probably the best car that you can go buy right now, I suspect. This is their big play in the family car space, and it's the same segment that Toyota is kind of dominating with the Toyota Kluger. Zeekr already has 12 dealerships in Australia, and now they've said that they want to have one new model every single year for the next few years. That means by 2027 you should be looking at 4 or 5 different Zeekr models here for sale in Australia. Sorry, by the way, I'm having to have a drink of some sort of herbal tea because I've got a really bad throat. It's sort of all the talking. I talk a lot, obviously. Anyway, now the specs. So the Zeekr 9X, which was unveiled at the Shanghai Auto Show this year, is a monster of a vehicle, really, really big. 5.2 meters long, has 311 kilometer WLTP range, which is not the biggest, but it is a lot for people who live in a city. You know, that could last you so many days, and can do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 3 seconds flat. So it's pretty quick. It's not just normal quick, that's like supercar quick, and in something the size of a luxury barge basically. But it also is likely to be very expensive. Obviously, we don't know the price of it yet. Zeekr knows that they need something a bit more accessible, so they've got the 7X, which is, $57,000, which is a bargain. That's where the 8X comes in, due to be revealed later this year, and it is expected to be priced more reasonably, lining up against things like the Toyota Kluger, and so there are a couple of others, obviously, like the Tesla Model Y and other vehicles with 3 rows. So if Zeekr can get this pricing right, then this model could actually do really, really well, sell very large numbers here in Australia. Weirdly, not the 7X. The 7X is probably one of the most talked about EVs at the moment, but I reckon it could outsell the 7X actually. And then there's obviously the Lynk & Co 08, which is very, very interesting. It's technically a plug-in hybrid mid-size SUV, but Zeekr has hinted it may rebrand it as one of their own models and then bring it to sale in Australia. It runs on Geely's CMA platform, the same one as the Volvo XC40, and it combines a 1.5 litre petrol engine with 155 kilowatt or about 200 horsepower motor, making 257 kilowatts combined, that's pretty decent. It's 350 horsepower or something. It has a claimed 200 kilometre EV range with a total driving range of over 1,000 kilometres. So for Australians that are worried about charging on long road trips or driving from city to city or Brisbane to Sydney, that's a very compelling setup. Hybrids do really well in this country. So what's the big picture here? So Zeekr's strategy is all about choice. Obviously, this is one of the things that I really like about Zeekr. EVs for people in the cities who want a premium electric car, and plug-in hybrids for buyers who aren't ready to go all electric yet. And that makes sense because while charging in Australia is possible, the network is growing, it's still quite patchy really. As soon as you leave Brisbane, as soon as you leave Melbourne, as soon as you leave Sydney, it's just such a vast country. It's really hard to justify spending, $100,000 or whatever it is to install 2 rapid chargers for basically any country. So unless it's run by the state, which it is not, it is going to be a bit of a slow rollout, I think, relative to a lot of other countries, because there's only 26 million people. So the other thing to note is how quickly Zeekr is moving. In just a couple of years, they've actually gone from nothing to 12 dealers here. I think there's a new one I just saw somewhere near Stafford or something like that in Brisbane the other day. I think it's a brand new dealership. And it's on the corner of a street. I can't remember. Is it Gympie Road or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, they had some cars outside, and I thought, that's a new Zeekr dealership. That's pretty nice to see. They're not talking about being a niche brand, Zeekr. They're actually... Frank Lee, who was actually at the recent event the other day, really nice guy. He's the head of Zeekr in Australia, and he has said that the plan is to actually bring at least one new model every single year. So that's exactly the kind of commitment we've seen from BYD, isn't it? So let's look at how fast they've grown over the last couple of years. Let's compare this to what the competition is doing. Toyota is still relying heavily on petrol hybrids like the Kluger, Hyundai, and Kia also have some really excellent EVs, especially Hyundai. They're doing really, really well. But they don't have the same scale of offering in the large SUV segment, obviously. And Polestar, as I mentioned, is EV only, which means they're relying on infrastructure to catch up. Zeekr's mix of EVs and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, that gives them a way to compete across different buyer groups at the same time. The big unknown here, of course, is the price. Zeekr hasn't commented at all about this. They've not really said anything. The 8X, the 9X, we've got really just a couple of guesses, really. So given that the Toyota Kluger starts at 62 grand in Australia, or about £31,000 in England, but obviously I'm just talking about Australian prices here, you'd expect the 8X to really land somewhere around that 60 to 70,000. The 9X will be north of that by tens of thousands, I think, and that will be more of a luxury SUV vehicle, kind of competing with Lexus or the Land Rover, obviously. But Land Rover they're generally so unreliable that they sort of unmarket themselves by that, really. The Lynk & Co. 08, if priced aggressively, could really shake things up against plug-in rivals like the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Really, really nice to drive, really nice place to be. So where does this leave us? Zeekr clearly isn't just dipping a toe into Australia. They're really, really hoping to consume Australia, really service the country with a whole lineup of different vehicles. And that will span from hybrids, full EVs, big things and little things, and saloons and that sort of stuff, I suspect. So, yeah, it's a promise of a new vehicle every year. I think that's quite an ambitious strategy. If it works, it could change the dynamics of Australia's SUV market quite quickly. Obviously, other companies are kind of doing the same sort of thing, such as BYD, and they're doing it very successfully, really successfully. The question is, will Australian buyers take to Zeekr in the same sort of way that they've taken to BYD? So what do you think about this? Would you consider a Zeekr 8X or a 7X, for example, or a Lynk & Co. 08 over something like a Toyota Kluger? If you're the sort of person that would be buying one right now, is it compelling and is it not? And why? I'm really keen to know if you've got an opinion on that. Why is it compelling? And also, why is it not compelling? Or if you do like them, what are the negatives? What are the downsides to Zeekr vehicles for you as someone who potentially will be a Toyota buyer? Do you think Australians are ready for more plug-in hybrids from China, or will EVs continue to dominate the conversation? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You're very welcome to subscribe, and any questions, just put in the comments. I read the comments all the time, so thank you for watching.